My name is Demarques Jackson. I'm fighting in the 170-pound UFL Grand Prix. I'm fighting out of Kill Cliff FC in Deerfield Beach, Florida. My prediction for this fight is finish, submission, TKO, wherever.
My name is Nikolay Veretennikov. I'm from Kazakhstan. I'm representing Team Kings MMA, California. The cage will show us, you know, how I win the fight. You know. For sure, I win the fight. You know.
Here we go. Next up, the next welterweight Grand Prix fight. Demarques Scrap-Iron Jackson. Oh my goodness. When you look at the resumes of these guys, when you look at the camps they come from, and this guy representing that Kill Cliff camp, you look at the quality of fighters that come out of there. Now, Demarques Jackson, fought on the last UFL. He fought in the main event against the Night Train, Gooden. I watched that fight back, Frank. What we missed, and again, I spoke to him, there was a massive clash of heads. It looked like it was actually a strike, but head on, they went and clashed heads, which put him on wobbly legs. I spoke to him, I said, I apologize, I didn't recognize that had happened. He said, I had no idea I was in the second round. He said, I literally was winning the fight, and then the fight was over. He doesn't remember a single thing in between. And again, we missed it. The referee missed it. It happens. It's fighting. It's one of those things. But now he thinks, you know, everything happens for a reason. Now he's in the Grand Prix. Now he's got a great opponent in Kazakhstan's Nikolay Veretennikov. And now he believes here in Memphis he can really show us what he's about.
Yeah, man, it really is a great fighter to watch Jackson fight. Good striker, great grappling, well-rounded. I mean, he's a brown belt under Gilbert Burns. You see, he has Michael Johnson, who's a well-rounded, you know, fighter in his own right in his corner. He really has a style where he just flows from his striking to his takedowns and has abilities to go ahead and finish people there.
So Demarques Jackson inside the cage. Let's welcome his opponent from Huntington Beach via Kazakhstan, Nikolay Veretennikov. And here he comes, holding aloft both the flag of America, where he now lives, where he now trains, and his prided flag of Kazakhstan, a country we know well. We've had some good times in Kazakhstan, Frank Mir. We've witnessed some of the great fighters that come out of that country. This, for me, is one of them. Nikolay Veretennikov, 9-4 is his record, 9 professional wins, 7 of those by finish, all by knockout. And when you talk about great fighters coming from that great country, one of the ones that jumps straight to mind is Triple G. And this is the guy who recommended to this man, Veretennikov, listen, if you want to get better at MMA, you need to move from Kazakhstan, you need to head to America, and you need to go to Huntington Beach and King's MMA under Rafael Cordero. What an invitation from a man that's achieved so much, and what an inspiration to send him over here to make his dreams come true.
And you know what, great to take that advice and be smart. You know, certain areas just have certain, you know, nationalistic, have certain sports that they're good at. You know, in Dagestan, wrestling bases, right? You see that in Chechnya and the different countries there, but they're in Kazakhstan. They're very much more of a boxing, kickboxing, stand-up striking type of country. The grappling there isn't at the level that it is here in the U.S. So for that to be recognized that, hey, if you want to compete at MMA, you're going to have to be much more well-rounded. And going to Cordero, to a gym like that with Rafael, is smart because he himself was a great Muay Thai guy that trains a lot of MMA guys that have had great careers in MMA, and Anderson Silva's, Rodrigo Nogueira's, and so making that conversion where it's not like, well, let's scrap everything you already know, let's just build on what you already have an understanding of.
So both fighters inside the cage. Let's see how they stack up. Similar records and experience. 1 year the younger is Demarques Johnson. I have to say the height and reach is not quite right there. 5'9", yes, Demarques Johnson, but the reach far on the side of Nikolay Veretennikov. This welterweight contest set and ready. Let's hand it to the man with the mic, Mr. Cyrus Fees.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is our quarterfinal matchup in the UFL Welterweight Grand Prix. Introducing first the fighter on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, 75'9" tall, weighing in at 170.6 pounds. His record, 13 wins and 7 defeats. Fighting out of Deerfield Beach, Florida, Demarques Scrap Iron Jackson. And now his opponent, standing across the cage and fighting out of the red corner. He sits 6 foot 2 inches tall, weighing in at 170.4 pounds. His record, 9 wins and 4 defeats. Fighting out of Huntington Beach, California, by way of Kazakhstan, Nikolay Veretennikov. Your referee, Jason Aldridge.
Jason Aldridge will take charge of this welterweight contest. What a battle this is. Demarques Jackson taking on Nikolay Veretennikov. Kazakhstan versus the US of A. And again, Jackson is going to have to use this movement, this footwork to get inside that range, right, Frank?
Yeah, when you have less height, you have to rely on that. The footwork, the movement, the angles. You just can't stand in front of your opponent because where you're standing, he can hit you before you can hit him. And what a quick head outside single. He switched it off to a double. He has his hands connected.
Yeah, you mentioned on the walkout, he's a brown belt under Gilbert Burns. That's a solid brown belt, right?
That's a solid guy, especially, you know, there are sometimes we go, oh, I'm a brown belt or black belt or whatever belt under so-and-so. I'm like, yeah, that guy's never fought before. He's only knows jiu-jitsu. So, you know, even if he shows you an MMA version, he's regurgitating information he's gotten from somebody else. When you fight under a guy who's a legitimate black belt who also does MMA, it's a much better understanding.
Oh, that left hook connected. Demarques is on wobbly legs.
Fired a nice sharp right hand for a guy who got wobbled.
Look at the
with a left hook.
Oh, on the left. This is heating up. Dropping in for this single. That was nice work there from Demarques.
And great wrestling on Nikolay's part. He's already stopped a double that was deep. Hands connected against the cage, was able to sink under. And there, another shot. He's on top. He even used a guillotine to defend at one point. And look at this. Again, sprawling back. Now he's stepping over, has a guillotine, stepping over the leg. If he can flatten him on his butt, he might drive his hips forward.
Oh, picking his shots, driving the knee, just misses, digging that into the rib cage.
And a solid chin, too, for Nikolay Veretennikov. He took some shots right there. That's a pretty strong right hand. And it doesn't even look like it's stunned him yet.
Oh, nice shot to the body from Demarques. Scrap Iron. We've had some good nicknames today, right? People living up to them. Scrappy as hell is this man, willing to step into the fire.
Demarques looks like he has his faculties completely back in, and he was just stunned a little bit with the shot that he took, but fired back beautifully for a guy who was a little off, was able to go ahead and keep the fight from being stopped or put himself in a bad position. Not only did he land great strikes after being rocked, he was able to attempt a pretty good takedown.
Oh, they both caught each other there, Frank. Oh, Nikolay with the elbows now as well. Vicious on top is the Kazakhstan fighter.
Yeah, can opener.
Oh, horrible. Long time since we've seen that.
I love the can opener, especially for a way of opening the guard. Maybe not the finish. Yeah, jumping forward. You know, GSP really made that, you know.
Oh, Coleman, right?
Yep.
Mark Coleman.
First guy to do it for finishes, but then in modern day MMA, I was always a fan of how GSP used it. He would jump up, spread his leg, drive his knees towards you as he's pulling the head to the groin, and just crush your spine. You had to open the guard to keep from being finished.
1 minute 45 seconds left. Round number one again. Good ground and pounding from Nikolay. A great way to get back to his feet from Demarques.
But look at the underhook, even though he's attempting the guillotine.
Oh, on the rope.
Wow, what a great scramble there.
What a scramble. He went with it. He did not fight that takedown, giving him the momentum to come back out on top. So you talk about his striking, his finish rate. His grappling's on show tonight as well, Frank.
Absolutely. It's been impressive. He's shown equal ability, in my opinion, between his hands and his grappling.
Final Sometimes when you look at fights, Frank, you kind of hope they live up to what you see on paper, right? You look at the styles, you look at the experience, you look at the opponents they fought. And this is doing it right there. But I mean, look, Demarques is in a bad spot here, but he has been game as you like.
Oh, yes, absolutely. He's landed some good shots. He's fighting. It's scrappy. I mean, I don't think he's winning this round, but it isn't like he's out of the fight. He's showing capability to do things that are dangerous. He's had moments, and he's trying to find a way to bring it. Nikolay has just been solid. I mean, even there on this last takedown attempt, that was an incredible ability to scramble and roll through and end up on top. And here,
just maintain it as well, right? Just keep that position. Even the hand over the mouth there.
Smart.
We've seen the can opener. We've seen him stifling the breathing with that old trick as well. One round in the books. What a fight this is in the welterweight Grand Prix. And whoever wins this will take on Luis Nguyen. That was the guy who had the comeback knockout in the UFL 1. Now, outstanding performance from him. Oh, nice. Look at these shots. Frank, talk us through some of this.
You see there, and there's just the awareness of Nikolay. I know right there, Demarques was throwing the shots, the combination of punches, but then as they get taken down in there, they both landed shots, and Nikolay just again ends up on top. Demarques is just trying to find a way to go through something, and every time here, you look, big takedown, and then gets rolled through and reversed through. That's so discouraging when you initiate the takedown, roll through, and in your head, you're like, how am I on bottom right now?
Set and ready for round number 2 here. Nikolay Veretennikov in the red corner, taking on Demarques Jackson in the blue. Me, Brian Lacey, alongside Frank Mir, calling the action here. UFL 2. These fights brought to you in association with F3 Energy. Again, 50% off on our Amazon store. Oh, he's wobbled! Oh, my goodness!
What a left hook,
wow.
Man. Nikolay just has great power, man.
Huge power. Put him on wobbly legs all the way back to his butt, and now he's followed him down to the ground, Frank.
Yeah, because when we go back and watch that on replay, it wasn't like that was loaded. He didn't put his weight on that leg heavily. At least it didn't appear to me.
Oh, the referee's keeping an eye on this. Demarques has got to stay active.
And he is. Demarques is showing a great job of jumping up to his. He keeps trying to swim up. He keeps fighting for that underhook and coming up on the leg.
Even the shield position with the knee. He's trying to do something. The short elbows coming in. But like you said, that left hook, it was not loaded at all. Just sweet and perfect timing, right?
Yeah, I mean, he threw it almost kind of like a stiff jab. Just fired off. He turned his shoulders ever so slightly just to create the angle and fired off a left hook. And, I mean, you saw the response of Demarques Jackson was on wobbly feet, and really, there was no takedown. He just smothered him and jumped down on top of him here to be in control in the second round.
Yeah, seems content to work from this position as well.
Man, if he hits that hard on his feet when it's loaded, I don't know. Let's see what it...
Oh, he's gone for the guillotine. He's jumped on this. The arm is in, Frank, but he's got the squeeze. Oh, the grimace there from Demarques. Oh, he's got the tap. Wow. Nikolay Veretennikov with his first ever submission finish in his professional career. You said it, Frank. What a display. We saw him on the feet, let those hands loose, but then he locked that up. The arm in guillotine, got the squeeze. Amazing. That's a standout performance. There'll be no stare down.
I really want to see that left hook again, how it started off.
From the start, there'll be no stare down for this one, but he will face off against Luis Nguyen. That will be August 12th. Ready for the results. Let's hand it to Cyrus Fees.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Alter stops his fight at 138 of round number 2. Your winner by tap out to the guillotine show. And now moving on to the Grand Prix, Nikolay Veretennikov.
Great show of respect. I don't think I've ever seen a fighter chase his opponent down outside the cage to give him a thank you. Wow, what a great fight. On your feet, explosive power punching. On the ground, you're grappling. You really showcased no weaknesses at all. What was your game plan coming into this?
Hi for everyone. Thank you for coming, for support us. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. So, my plan was finish the fight and the standing up, but you see how it's like the plan always change inside the cage. Thank you for my opponent. He was very tough guy. Yeah, tough opponent. Thank you for him.
Did you see that? Was that a shift your coach made, or did you make when you decided to go for more submissions? Like, oh, look, I've hit this guy with everything but the kitchen sink. I'm hurting him, but he's not going away. And then you switched over to a massive guillotine.
Like I said, I prepare for everywhere, you know, in grappling, in standing up. I believe, you know what, I decided to do guillotine because he always give it to me, you know. That's his game. And you know what, I was planning to win by his game, you know, like, thank you.
It was a great fight. Your winner, Nikolay Veretennikov!
Thank you.